How's it going, everybody? DJ K-Dub, Omaha, Wired Access Podcast with the All Access Granted.
I didn't want that to be the standard. I didn't want someone else in the room to set the standard. I always wanted to do that.
The journey to get there, I think, is something, that is amazing.
Let's get this podcast started.
That's right. It is DJ K-Dub Omaha with Wired Access, All Access Granted. We greatly appreciate you for tuning in. We also appreciate those who like, follow, share, do all those great things. As you know, we always love that free scribe on our YouTube at Wired Access, because unfortunately, some of those go to other people when you see our videos. Maybe heard at sports, but we couldn't have done what we do without them starting us off. Today, we have a national champion on the docket. We have Malachi Marshall of the Iowa Western Reivers, who just won their third national championship out of the past 4 years. Malachi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Man, talk about a journey. You know, when you think back to the COVID days, I'll start there with you. And you think back to then, did you think that you would ever have a national championship ring that you get to present here this next year?
Never. When COVID started, I came into myself around that time. I really didn't think I could play at the collegiate level, let alone like the competition that I play now. But I never thought I could play at the collegiate level, period. COVID, I was just small, skinny ninth grader, just had a growth spurt. So I didn't know what I could do, but, I started believing in myself after a few days at high school practice. I was like, okay, I can do it. And I got the ability. As long as I keep working, it'll be good things in my future. So,
well, of course, we'll get up to where you're at now, but I'd like to obviously start back then just so people could kind of understand where you began and where you started. Of course, went to South Pointe High School in South Carolina. When you think of even that COVID year, what did South Carolina do as a state for the high schools? What was that like for you? I only ask this because, of course, I know around here, just across the bridge from you in OPS, they stopped football for 1 year. And you could tell by all the schools now, they're behind. A lot of kids moved out because they still wanted to play football. So they went to the few schools that were still playing. What was that like for you?
So originally I started off at West Charlotte High School, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I wasn't in South Carolina for the start of the COVID.
Okay.
But I did see what they had going on. They let them practice. They did have a season. In North Carolina, you did not have a season until the spring when everything was regulated. We had to still wear masks, like in our helmets for us to play.
I feel bad for you guys. Like my son went through it as well. Like I think these are days that people forget, right? Like when it comes to the youth, I think with adults, they kind of talk about it. They talk about what happened, but the life change for a youth. What do you remember about that first time putting on the pads and thinking you got to wear a mask during what you're going to do?
No, it was definitely crazy because, just the world being how it was a few months ago, and then the sudden change, and then, going through the whole fall, not knowing if you're even going to play, and then it coming to the spring and you have to play with a mask. So it was definitely crazy.
Was there a lot of kids that moved out of the area just to play? Like, I don't know how close you were to other states, and was there any of that you remember?
For us, it was really like everybody stayed where they were, like stayed put. There's strict, very transfer rules from where I'm from. So like everybody can't just move schools, or it has to be like a real like process for you to go to another school around that time. So it wasn't really a lot of movement, so to say, in the schools.
What made you guys end up moving down to South Carolina to the South Pointe area?
Well, my freshman year at West Charlotte, it was some things with the city, so I couldn't play my freshman year, and I was trying to play my sophomore year. The summer going into my sophomore year, but they denied me again. So I ended up moving to South Pointe because my middle school coach actually knew the offensive coordinator, Coach Littlejohn. Shout out to him. He got me down to South Pointe and, showed me around the school. And I was like, okay, this is somewhere I need to be at, somewhere I can develop and be a better player.
Of course, you got to play your junior, senior year for them. What do you remember about your high school with them? And what kind of, I would say, competition would you feel was kind of in South Carolina for you guys?
Well, I'm going to take it back to my sophomore year, the first year I got there. That was the year we won state. Man, just the players that was on that team. Like, we had some great players. Current JMU player, he's in the portal right now, but he started for JMU the past 2 years. DJ Barksdale, he set the tone at practice every day. So it was crazy. We had a 1,000-yard receiver. Our quarterback was crazy. Obviously I wasn't playing because, those guys are doing their job. But like every day at practice was definitely, it's the best on the best. We don't do ones versus twos. This is ones on ones every practice, and we're hitting every practice. So it was definitely a great environment. And then, just going into my junior year, trying to follow up what they did the year before, trying to get back to states. My first game was against the number one team in the state, Gaffney, and it was almost 13,000 people there at the game. So it was
say that again. Game. That's 13,000 at a high school game. Let's put that in a picture because
it's probably more than that, to be honest. It was really standing room only, so it was crazy.
What do you remember about that first time being able to put on the pads and actually play on the varsity level as a quarterback? And like you said, versus the top team. What do you remember about going out on the field that day?
Well, I was ready. I was definitely nervous for sure, though. Like it was a point in time where I really didn't have that confidence that I have now in myself. Obviously, because I didn't play a lot of football in those couple of years that I was in high school, so it was just new, it was new to me. Definitely, the environment shocked me a little bit because I'm not used to playing in front of 13,000 people. So I was definitely a little nervous, but I got it together. It was a hard time for sure. My ear ended up going out. It was a whole lot of crazy things. Like, it was so much noise and it was a lot impacting me, but I did end up locking in, and it was a great experience for sure. It's one I would remember for the rest of my life.
Of course, you guys went 8-4 both seasons that you were there. You went in the playoffs. You threw for over 3,000 yards between the 2 years, 29 TDs. What was the legacy that you felt you were able to leave at South Pointe for yourself, especially when you knew the history, you knew what was expected for you?
Well, I wouldn't say I left a legacy, so to say. It was more, my footprint was more impacting the younger guys and teaching them the right ways, how to play, how to practice, like the small things. But yeah, my legacy is so many great players that went through there.
Hold on, though. You brought up something that some people sell short sometimes. When you're the leader and you're the quarterback, you got two ways you could be. You could be all about me or all about we. And to me, the we is a big legacy that you just maybe don't see it that way. And I say it in the best, kindest of all sayings, because not everybody wants to be that guy. Not everybody wants to be the teammate. Not everybody wants to see everybody succeed. And obviously, that's the only way you can get to where you are today as far as the leader of one of the top JUCO team in the country. Let's say it loud and proud, in the country, which is in a small town in Iowa, right across the bridge from us.
CB.
That's right. So don't take that shortly when I say legacy. I know a lot of people are thinking like all these big things and big words, but when I say it as a player, I mean, you took the reins. You obviously got them to the playoffs. Maybe things didn't go one way or the other, but you also saw yourself in the light of what you were able to help with other teammates. When you remember those moments and you remember things that you're building up to, what's some things that you had to change for yourself just in high school that you remember, whether it's your eating habits, whether it's your workout regime? What was some things, or regiment, that you remember that you had to change?
Well, definitely coming into school, I had to change the way I acted just off the field and, just getting myself together in that department because it's certain like things you have to live up to when you play in that town and at that school. So just getting myself to that point where, like I said, I was confident in myself and just doing the right things off the field and then carry that onto the field. Another thing was definitely the way I worked out. I can't lie, I didn't lift weights at all going into high school. And when I got there, like that was the immediate change for me was getting into the weight room with Coach West. And both the staffs that I ended up having in high school, they definitely put a strong saying that we have to be in the weight room or we're not going to win football games. So just the weight room itself was definitely a big improvement in my game that I noticed in high school.
Of course, in high school, there's the stress of recruitment. Not everybody has the same recruitment process. Not everybody even gets these same opportunities. What was that like for you?
Well, freshman year, I did have a small like interest from schools, but it really wasn't anything major. Sophomore year, I had one school, Wake Forest. I was in contact with them from my freshman year, but that didn't end up being anything. So going into my junior year, I really didn't have any recruitment. I was really hungry. Everybody else around me was getting offers. My teammates was getting offers. So, it was just putting a fire under me that I need to just lock in and do better. And going into my junior year, that was my best year in high school. If you ask me, I had a chip on my shoulder, I would say, and I was just coming to prove everybody wrong. And near the end of the year, I got a little interest, but going into my senior season was definitely where everything started going crazy, I would say. I received my first offer from Miami, Ohio. And then a few days later, like 5 more offers came. And then that was just the train that just kept on rolling into my senior season where I ended up committing to Georgia State.
How in your junior year did you have to adjust your thought process at a young age to be able to be happy for those teammates that are getting those offers, play with that chip on your shoulder and know that you didn't have what you were hoping you would have had at that time? How did you mentally stay the way that you needed to be right, especially being the quarterback? I think sometimes there's pressure inside and outside of the game that people kind of tend to forget.
Well, I'll just go back to what you said earlier about like you have to be happy for your teammates, for your own success to happen, because at the end of the day, if they're doing good, you're doing good. So winning is winning at the end of the day. Like, so that's why no matter what level I'm at, like right now, like at Iowa Western, I'm not getting the recognition or the offers that my other teammates are getting. But at the end of the day, like I know I have to depend on them, and I know you got to lift up your brother at the end of the day. So, just being happy for everybody and just knowing that my time will come. You can't rush the process for anything. If it's meant to happen, it will.
And then, of course, you get to your senior season. What was the change in that summer prior to your senior season that you really hit hard on for yourself, that you knew in order to get these offers, you had to get some other things taken care of? What was that like for you?
Definitely just locking in mentally on the field, preparing myself before every game. I knew that would be a big change, going from, first year starter where the coach is letting you play because, it's your first year. So they're not really going to take anything hard on you. But the second year, you better know what you're doing when you step on the field. So just doing that, preparing myself in a different way before the games, that was just a big step for me.
Of course, you get to your senior season. You said you had some offers. What was the results of some of those offers, and what was some things that had to get right in order for those to be completed for yourself?
Well, it was coming down to about really 3 schools for me. Georgia State, the school I ended up committing to, James Madison, and then Marshall University. Coaching staff at JMU, which is now Indiana, ended up changing. So I knew it was going to be a little gray area right there. And then, they wanted to take somebody with them, and it was a lot in that process. So I knew that wasn't really going to be a good thing for me at the time. So I ended up committing to Georgia State because I knew I could develop for a year or come in and, if I do good, put my talents on display, and ended up playing early if that was the case. And the offense they ran, the system that they ran with the coaching staff that they ended up they had, but they left, which was why I ended up at Stony Brook. But
see, isn't it weird how what people don't understand, everybody's quick to hit people on the transfer portal, and they're quick to hit players who commit and then decommit. But what they don't see is this behind the scenes right here. That is why I love this story, is because there's way more things and moving parts that could totally change your future. Like you said, you had, some big schools, Georgia State. You had some, big schools with JMU who obviously showed who they were, in due time. But it wasn't like it was just going to be there. And then you had a lot of moving parts, and it's just crazy because you go to Stony Brook, you only get five games there. How did you even get connected with Stony Brook, and kind of let people know what it was like different from high school going to even a level at Stony Brook for you? I mean, because your first game was what versus
Marshall,
who you was thinking about going to. It's crazy how that circle goes.
it was actually a conversation away, I'll tell you. But Stony Brook ended up contacting me, I think Christmas Day, actually. They got into contact with me. I was decommitted at the time from Georgia State. The staff had went to different organizations. One head coach went to South Carolina. Offensive coordinator went to Georgia Tech. So Stony Brook hit me up, said they would give me the opportunity to come in and, start or, get a chance to play. And I took that and ran with it because, it really, in that time I was wanting to play early. So what they were presenting to me was great in that department. And then, it wasn't a bad team, so to say, just the wrong pieces that they had the year before. They were winless. And, we came in and changed the program around in a year. So just what they were presenting to me and how they were going to turn the program around, which they did in that year. I really liked the process that they were going to go in. So I ended up committing there. I think it was around January, and then signed in February. And then get in there. I got there in June. I was learning the playbook and everything before that, after I signed, really. But I got there in June. I was the only freshman there. So it was kind of crazy for me. The workouts was crazy. It was really hard because, I was on my own 10 hours away, just trying to figure out how to survive, really, because, it's different from having everything and then you have nothing, and then you got to work for everything. And it's definitely a grind. And it's a mental grind because you by yourself, you straight from the workout back to the room. You got all the time in the world to think, and nobody's on campus, so you don't got nobody to talk to. So it's just you in that room, and then back to football. So it's the same grind for about a month, 2 months, and it took a toll on you. So it was definitely different from high school.
Of course, you only got 5 games in there. What was the thing you felt like you learned from that experience and that made you decide to look elsewhere? What was that like for you?
Well, I ended up getting a great opportunity to start after that Marshall game. I played in the Marshall game, but I got the chance to start the game after that, the first home game. Got us our first win in like 2 years or something around that time frame, I believe so. And then started the next 3 games after that, which was great, and got ranked for the first time in 3 years, and everything was good. I ended up getting hurt. That's really, really the reason why I played only 5 games. And then things happened, and the other quarterback was doing good. We were winning. Don't get me wrong. It was a great experience for me. I learned a lot of things from just being on the sideline after the time that I played. And from the time that I played, the main thing I learned was just be you, really. Like, be who you are, because you can't play like anybody else. You can't try to model your game after anybody else. Like, you just have to be what got you there, which is, for me, was just making plays with my feet, extending plays, seeing and anticipating throws. Like, that was me. And so I really just fell into that when I was playing.
Well, then, I mean, you brought up a great point. You know, you got this injury. Was this your first major injury in all the time playing football that took you out of game?
Well, in football, it was. I actually broke my leg playing basketball in middle school, which was my first major injury. But this one was my first like real injury in football, and it took a real toll on me, because it was hard not playing, going from being.
It's hard going from everything everybody wants, and then all of a sudden you're just a sideline guy. Your teammate, like you said, is pulling his weight, doing his thing, and but no one's really probably checking in on you regularly. They're just kind of, especially in season. I mean, there's so much going on. Well, who was your go-to during that hardest time? I mean, that was the thing that probably had to pull you out to get you back to be the champion that you are today.
Well, definitely, I had to talk to my old teammates, my high school teammates. If I ever need them, I call them for sure.
Hold on. So let me guess. We don't remember all the wins or losses, but we sure the heck remember that they're going to be your brothers for life. It's like, those are things that some people take for granted. Like, you have brothers for life if you want them, right? Like, you also have to, it's got to be a give and take, so you reach out to them. What was that like for you?
They was just putting a smile on my face. It was good, Also, I had my freshman class that I came in with at Stony Brook. I really connect with those guys. I really talk to them every day. Really, I still stay in contact with them. Those guys really helped me pull through. I was with them every day. Quinn Boyd, who's the starting quarterback at Stony Brook right now. That's my best friend, so I was talking to him every day, just making sure that I stay around good people with good energy. And that's really how I got out of my slump, so to say.
And what level is Stony Brook for those that are interested? Of course, like we said, we already played Marshall, so of course it's a D1 school. It's just in a different bracket. FCS, right?
FCS, yeah. CAA, yeah.
So of course, then that year ends, like you said, 5 games, injury. What starts into where people start hearing for you for Iowa Western? How did that connection get for you? Where did that start for you?
Well, actually, Iowa Western connected with me like from high school, from the beginning. Before I actually had any offers, they were trying to give me. Yeah.
Okay.
Throwback.
What was your thoughts then? I mean, were you really going, it's JUCO?
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the United States. I don't even know where that is. I mean, I interviewed a guy coming to Nebraska, and I go, did you know where Nebraska was? No, I thought it was a make-believe state. I got it.
No, I was definitely one of those kids who was like, I'm not going JUCO. Like, he wasting his time. But I'm glad that I actually met Coach Spear during that time, because it changed my life. So I'm definitely glad that I interacted with him. So yeah, they met me my junior year of high school. Came and sat down with me in the office. Got in contact with me for the first time, really. And then when I got to the portal, and everything wasn't really materializing for me, I ended up contacting Coach Spear. I was like, shoot, I need a place to play. Like,
what was that like in the portal? I mean, you got so many kids. I think today, it was registered over 3,000 players. What was that first portal experience for yourself? And what should athletes know the real part of it? I mean, you said something right there of you're looking for someone to play like real fast, but what was that like for you?
I mean, first, what I think athletes should know is have a plan. Like, it's a lot of people that's going to be in your ear. Like, make sure you have a plan, and make sure you right with the people around you and with God, because He's going to guide you in the right directions. And then I'll say, for me, like, that period was really crazy, because me as a player was like, okay, I know what I can do, so teams should be hitting me up. I got a little bit of film, like, maybe I could get some interest or something, but it was really that like as soon as I got into the portal, I really didn't hear nothing for the first week or two. So for me, it was kind of like humbling for sure. Like, oh, you're not that guy, like you're not that player. So you need to be where your feet are and really just you need to prove yourself. And so
What'd you change during that time while you were thinking that? What changed for you? Was there still thoughts of, man, I might need to get the real deal job. I might have to find what I want in real deal school. Like, what did it go for the athlete to real life for you? How was that for you?
It was really closer to the time right before I went to Western, because right before I went there, like I was thinking about it, like, all right, I'm about to just get a job and shoot, I mean, it's life now, so I got to get over it. But for me, it was just getting right with God, because I really didn't have a real connection with him before. Like during my freshman year, I really wasn't like all the way connected and, getting in my Bible or any of that. I wasn't really on my P's and Q's, but that moment where nobody was setting my phone up and I didn't know where I was going to go, it really made me look in the mirror like, all right, who you going to be now? Like, football over for you. Like, what you going to do? Are you right, like, in your mental state or, with the people around you? So that was really my step during that time.
Did you have any teammates or any family members, or who helped you find your way to God for yourself? How'd you find that?
Well, my papa, he a pastor, so it's really crazy. I was talking to him, really every day before I got into the portal, and then when I got into the portal, I was talking to him, daily, just him checking up on me, asking how my mental is, things of that nature, and then him just really telling me like if football is over for you, like, what are you gonna do? Like, who are you as a person? You need to really find yourself and find what that is in you. And so that really turned me around right there.
Good reality check. You get in touch with, like you said, coach for Iowa Western. And luckily you didn't burn that bridge as a junior. Do you think that some things people could regret if they don't understand the realness of the way the real world works when it comes to this? You never know when a contact is needed. You never know when someone who put out their hand for you is going to be something that you're reaching for later. How was that like for you to put reality into check to go, I must have done something right because this coach is available to answer when I'm needing him?
Well, I mean, we had a good relationship when I was in high school. We ended up, going out to eat with me and my mother and coach. So, everything was real good. I mean, I'm glad I didn't burn that bridge because I wouldn't be here today. But it was a good experience with coach, and I'm glad really he was thinking about me, or he showed that I was a good enough player to even come to Iowa Western. So I'm glad that worked out, man.
So you get that call, or you call out to him. What do you remember about the first things to kind of set yourself in stone to say, hey, this is where I want to come? And how did that talk go with your family? I mean, obviously you talked about how important and how hard it was to be 10 hours away. Now you're over a day or half a day away. It totally changes. What was that like for you?
So that process was actually crazy. When I got into contact with coach, I think it was no more than 3 days after that, I was at the campus at Iowa Western. So that whole process was, very crazy because the way it was sped up, and how quick my life changed from not knowing to, all right, I'm here, so time to get on your grind. It was real crazy for me, I believe. Like, I can't speak on to anybody else, but I'll say that was probably like a once in a lifetime thing, like how it all happened.
Of course, then you get in touch and you think of the coaches. Like, what do you remember about that first conversation when you got in town with the head coach Coach Strohmeyer. I mean, he's been there
Oh,
for
yeah.
years.
I mean,
He's obviously has his culture. He has his way that it goes, and it's not always for everybody. What do you remember about that first talk with the head coach?
well, shoot, before I even got there, he texted me. He was like, you know, you got to come in here and work. It's not gonna be easy for you, but I think that's the place you need to be. It's gonna be a good place for you, and you know, I mean, I respect the world out of Coach. I can't say what I want to say, but
You could say whatever. You know, the best thing about this is, I mean, with, you know, especially if it's talking the real on how a coach can change someone's life, you know, and I think those are the things that people tend to forget about the football aspect, right? They always think wins, loss, records, championships, but they forget about the person and the relationships that are constantly built over and over again, and especially for a JUCO college that only gets some of the athletes for 18 months, or in this case, less than 9 months. It had to go quick for you. It had to be that impactful, that one, it gave you the drive to go, I have a possible opportunity, for one. For two, they must have loved me enough to hand out this prelim again, and especially after a injury, because I'm sure after an injury in the transfer portal, your last thought was, I don't have film. No one has a lot of things on me, especially where I'm at right now in this state.
yeah, it was definitely crazy. You know, that was a big thing when I was in the portal. Was, you know, are you okay? Like what injury did you have happen to you? Like that was the main question for me when I was in the portal. But you know, when I got there, that wasn't really any of their concern. Like I said, I respect Coach Strohmeyer on so many levels. Like that's probably the greatest coach of all time, in my opinion. Like he's really a stand-up guy. Like he's down to earth. He knows how to connect with his players. Like for me, I really didn't see him, you know, having to go out of his way to correct anything, because everybody knew the standard. Like it's just different when you step into the building with him. So I respect him on so many levels, like I said.
What would you say to those athletes that are out there looking and think JUCO is in a way, when you think of Iowa Western's campus, their equipment, and obviously the results come from all those things. What was it like for you when you go into the locker room, go into the facilities for you? What was some of the things that people got to understand about a school like Iowa Western?
No, Iowa Western is definitely the best JUCO to be at, facility-wise, coaches, housing, like school. Like it's definitely a great place compared to, you know, some JUCOs don't have all of that. So definitely just stepping into that was crazy for me, because shoot, it's better than D1s. I can't lie. Like I've seen a lot of D1 schools that don't have what Iowa Western has. So just being able to have that resource with the facilities, and then on top of that, the coaching that I received, I mean, you really can't beat that. So,
well, and of course, your coaches are out and about in the community. I've seen them at multiple things, especially since I do stuff with the Beef, but also at the Iowa West Field House, where they'll come in and do some camps. You know, you got coaches that are trying to get out there and get involved and get in the system. It's not like they're just coming to coach you guys and that's it. What was the community feeling for you when you looked at your players and your coaches?
well, we're definitely community driven at Iowa Western for sure. The community comes out to all of our games. So if you can see that in some of our videos. Like we have packed house every game, unless it's like 15 degrees or something like that. But you know, the community definitely supports us, and I feel like we give it back. You know, like you said, the camps with the kids, that's every year. The summer camps, the spring camps, like I feel like we do a good job in, you know, giving the young kids opportunity to not only showcase the talent for the future, but, you know, giving them like a checkpoint basically in their life. Like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. So it's good opportunities for not only us, but for the community as well.
Now, of course, you're at a school where championships have happened, or just winning in general has happened. And then you see that everybody's kind of on the same level as they know that this is a stepping stone. They know that the future is available for them. What kind of locker room presence was that to you when you first came out, that you could see that you felt that was the culture you wanted to be a part of?
Oh, shoot. It was the first run. First run, I was there. A D lineman was running past me. So I was like, okay, this team for real.
Coach AT out there busting them. We had Coach AT
Shout out
on the show, man.
Shout out
He's
Coach
a
AT.
good guy, man. That dude, nothing but energy, you know.
Yeah, that's his main word is energy. When we step out, you gotta have some energy, man. But yeah, that D lineman was Jackson Cherry, by the way, he committed to Central Michigan. But yeah, like, so from that day on, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the place I need to be at. Like, this is gonna get me better. I already knew it was some players there that were at a higher level than me. So somebody being at a higher level, you can't like do anything but elevate your level to be at their level. So I mean, just knowing that, I knew I had to become a better player, and just the way that they carried themselves, like when we were practicing, it really like opened my eyes to like, okay, this is for real. Like, this is winning. Like, this is what they do. So I need to get on board.
What was your biggest change that you had to make as a quarterback, and what was something that you found in their system that you felt you would do what you were able to do this year?
One change that I had to make was being more consistent. As you can see in my numbers at Stony Brook, I really wasn't consistent. I won't like blame that on play call or anything, but I just wasn't consistent enough, and my completion percentage was terrible. So getting here, I was definitely more honing in on being consistent with the little things, my feet, my eyes, making sure they connected, stuff like that. And then, the system really played into my hand, because before I went to IWestern, I was looking at some Cam Newton tape, the old Arvin tape from Cam Newton, and he was running a power read, and I was like, and it was open every time. Like, I feel like I can do that. Like, so it was kind of crazy watching that, and then going there the first week, and he was giving me the playbook, and I'm like, oh shoot, like this my opportunity right here. And then this is throwing aspect of things. They threw the ball on the average like 45 times a year before, so I was like, that's never going to be a problem in this offense. Like, I'm gonna get my numbers, but just knowing that.
Of course, you got a room. The experience in your quarterback room isn't always the same, especially at a JUCO. There's a lot more, like you said, 1 year, maybe not even a year. I mean, you got Van Dyke, who was a local kid who was trying to come there and get the opportunity. How did you set the stage for yourself to say, I want to earn and take this number one spot for QB?
Well, it definitely happened in the spring when I first got there. Just knowing that this is my only chance. Like I said before, I didn't even know that I was going to be playing football at this time. So, just knowing that I only had one chance, one opportunity to prove myself and put on a show. So every practice I was going out there trying to play my best, play like it was a real game, my last game. So just doing that, and shoot, if it happened, it happened. I feel like I did a good job of setting the standard at practice, bringing the best out of the offense and the defense. So just upholding that every day.
Who were some leaders that you were able to kind of look up to that maybe this was year 2 for them? Maybe this was someone that is set into that culture that you were able to maybe grab onto and say, okay, I'm going to, some people hate it or say, oh, you're following coattails. But to me, when you're trying to learn the culture and build that culture in yourself, you have to find those people that you can connect to who are going to be those leaders. Who were some of the leaders that helped you this year?
Oh, definitely Jeremy Lewis. Me and Jeremy had a conversation in the summer. Like, this the year, man. Like, we ain't gonna hold nothing back. Like, nobody better than us. Like, we had that conversation before the season even started, and I really look up to him because the first day I was there, like I said, people were setting the standard. He set the standard for me. He called me out. So, I mean, shoot, just seeing that and knowing like, all right, I got to get my stuff together.
Well, you talked about people calling you out and stuff like that. What was that like for you? What was kind of the camaraderie, but also the, hey, we're not here to lose out. What was some of those things for you?
God.
Oh yeah, just
Get you some. Get you some. Let's go. Ain't no one hating up in here. Ain't no one hating up here. Get you some. Get you. Let's go, big dog. It's all good, man. That's what I love about this, man. I mean, I've had Adam Carriker's daughters on here. I've had to me, I love this live aspect because it really just sets people to understand, like, man, we just family. You just family. You got people that love what you get to do. They love that you get the opportunity. But you were talking about people with culture and kind of, you mentioned one that kind of helped you out. But who was on the offensive side that was really pushing you to be the best that you could be?
Oh, shoot. My offensive coordinator, I mean, every day, me and him going at it. He's trying to get the best out of me. I'm trying to get the best out of him. So he set the standard for the players, and then just seeing the playmakers that I have in the field, like they come to me before every drive we go out there. Like, come on, I believe in you, brother. Like, I trust in you. Like, you got to trust in me too. So just every day that happening, it brings a certain standard that you got to uplift in practice and in the game. So it was easy for me.
What was challenging about practice for you that maybe other people didn't challenge you at? Was there anything?
I mean, it was just back to the consistent part. Like, yeah, I can make the plays. Like, that's not the main part I need to focus on. It's more of being consistent and making the easy plays. Shout out to Coach Kosh, but at Stony Brook, Coach Kosh used to say, make the hard plays easy and easy. No, make the easy plays hard and the hard plays easy or something like that. Like, he's saying make easy things easy. Like, you can't you can't do the good things good. I mean, the hard things good and then not do the easy things good, basically. So shout out to him. I'm sorry I messed up his phrase, but he probably gonna.
It's all good. People get the aspect. It's more of the fact of you can't, just because it's something you find easy doesn't mean that you can go half speed. You got to go full speed. And what was kind of your guys' motto this year? Of course, you weren't a part of their team that lost the championship last year. Like we said earlier, this was championship 3 out of the past 4, but you knew that the championship culture was there. You knew that they were looking to come off. What was that for you guys? What was that meaning, and what was that saying? What was the motto this year?
I mean, shoot, no excuses really. Like, you shouldn't have excuses when you step in the field, especially because of what our head coach going through. He's stepping out here every day, coaching us to the best of his abilities, giving us everything he got. So why you got an excuse in between the lines, playing the game that you love? You shouldn't have one. I mean, we got people die every day, people starving, going hungry, like stuff like that. So you shouldn't have no excuse.
Now with what you're doing and taking it serious. So of course you guys start off and you get moving and you're seeing everything go. What do you remember about that first game for Iowa Western when you got to strap it up and even then, what was your thoughts when they announced that you're going to be the starter? Who do you remember that talk with? So
Coach Stoll actually told me the day before the game, but the first game out there, it was I wouldn't say surreal, but it was crazy because football, it felt new to me again. I really didn't play in like almost a year around that time, so it was like, shoot, you back, like you gotta put on the show. So just being there and then seeing the fans, like the fans was there. Like, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but the stands that we do have, they was filled. Like, everybody there supporting, and everybody was loud, on their feet, and I really appreciated that. So just that whole experience was good for me.
Of course, you were number 1 in passing efficiency, led the nation for JUCO. 33 passing touchdowns, led the nation. Of course, the national championship. You were just shy on the passing yards, but you still were second in the nation. When you look at all your stats and you look at all those accomplishments and you think of the hard work to where you are today, what do you grant that back to? Of course, having a team and a culture is a big start, but what do you give that back to yourself, especially after your experiences up until this point?
It's really just believing in yourself. That's what I had to do. I just had to believe that I can do it. That's really the biggest thing. Believing and then speaking it. You got to speak what you want to happen into existence, and that was the big things for me.
You of course get Offensive Player of the Year. You look across, of course JUCO's a little different. It doesn't mean that the NIL deals are all there. It doesn't mean there's all this money, but when you talk to your linemen, how did those conversations go when you guys finished the year the way that you did, and the way that offensive line did what they had to do to make sure you were who you are today?
I mean, yeah, I love them guys. Took them out to eat during the season. Made sure they was good. They made sure I was protected the whole year. I texted them right after the Natty game. I was like, man, I appreciate y'all for holding my skinny tail up. Like, it was a long season. But yeah, man, I love those guys, man. When it was time to get it done, they got it done every time, man. I can't say nothing more about them. So that was a great group.
Was there a time in the season that you had to reset yourself? Of course, a football season becomes long. Winning helps, but there are things that, are on the outside that could still affect you, whether it's relationships, whether it's what the future is going to hold for you. Because, of course, in JUCO, you only have so much time. And as you know, you're a sophomore already, so you're looking for that next level, that next opportunity. So do those things weigh on you during the season to make you change or adjust who you are?
I mean, I feel like I got to that point actually right around the playoffs where I had to snap back into reality. Like, you still got a lot of games to play. You still got football to play. So yeah, just me snapping out of that. And I wouldn't say it was a big thing, like weighing on me or anything, but it definitely was taking a toll, because I was going to practice like a little lackadaisical, but then I had to look at coach. It was one day coach was look in the mirror, we ain't really did nothing yet. Y'all really gotta snap back into reality. We still got good football teams to play, and so that really got me back into that mode where I'm like, all right, it's go time. So
what changes on the team when you guys start preparing for the playoffs? What do you think? How could you do better when you already were 10-1 at the time, maybe 9-1? What did you feel like you guys had to change in those before you got to playoffs?
Well, it was really on the focus side. We knew physically nobody matching up with us. Got the best defense in the country, best offense in the country. It was more the details. Be detailed in what you're doing. The steps that you take, make sure it's the right ones. Small stuff like that. So just being detailed and more focused when it's coming around that time, because there's one to go home. You don't have a second chance. You don't have a makeup practice. You don't have that. So I mean, you just gotta be 100% in what you're doing and knowing what you're doing, because it's gonna go home.
Of course, you get to the national championship game 1. It's a long drive down to Texas. What was that like? You guys flew down, so that helped out, compared to some of those JUCOs.
Shout out Dr. Marshall, man.
Well, I was just going to say, because some people don't understand, and you probably experienced with Stony Brook, it's long bus drives. sleeping on the bus, sleeping on that, but you guys flew down. That was obviously, like you said, Dr. Marshall, they appreciate you. You fly down, you get down there early. What's kind of going through your head pregame for yourself? Just that whole week. How do you find your composure, and how did you find your way to lead that team?
It was just telling myself like you got to live in the moment. Like, you dreamed of this, you asked for this, so like, why you got to perform now? Like, that's basically what I was telling myself. Like, you can't ask for all this and then you get here and then you come up short because you took it for granted, or you're not playing your hardest, or something distracting you. Like, that was my mindset of like, you here, so take it over.
Now, of course, you guys get to the game, and you guys get smacked in the mouth to start. What was your reset for you guys, and what was kind of what was the change in the message right before the game to the message of when you had to change yourself?
We didn't change the message. I mean, we was down 10-0, but I promise everybody on that sideline, we wasn't worried about like, oh, we finna lose the game. Like, everybody was telling each other like, everybody calm down. Like, we here, like, just play the football we know how to play. Like, that was our message to each other before the game, during the game, and right before the clock hit 0. Like, shoot, we was still preaching the same message. Like,
what was your first thoughts when you first got on the board? Was that when it started turning up for you and you start?
Nah,
it's a swagger, right? Like, to get to the championship is one thing. To get down 10-0 is another. But when you start seeing the fruits of Leloin start coming through in the biggest game of your career to this point, it's got to start feeling a little swagger that you guys have played with all year. I mean, that is what makes Iowa Western who they are, is your guys' continuous swagger.
Definitely. Well, shoot, my defense, like I said, they the best in the nation. So they was telling me on the sideline, we down 10-0. Like, all we need is one, man. They ain't gonna score no more. Like, just give us one. I got y'all, boys. I promise, I got y'all. So after that first one, I knew it was over. I can't lie. Like, I felt the energy, and shoot, we capitalized on it, and it was crazy after that one. I can't lie. When
that clock hit 0, what was your first thought? What was your first go-to? What was kind of going through your mind? You said once before that you lived watching other people win a high school championship. This was you winning a college championship. And I don't care what anybody says. You'd say what level, what this, what that. Everybody at JUCO is looking to play for that next opportunity. They're not out there just running around to run around. They are looking to take your head off and do the same thing so they get their opportunity. What was that for you?
I mean, shoot, before the game even ended, I went straight to my mother. I can't lie. Like, I was happy. That's all you really could be. Like, you just think of all the hard work you put in up until that moment, and then shoot, it paying off, and you're a champion. So I was just happy. I was happy with my teammates, happy with my coaches. Like, everybody was just ecstatic. We were in the moment, so it was great. It was a great feeling.
You talked about it a little bit earlier, and it touched a little bit for yourself. Of course, everybody around this area knows that Coach Strohmeyer was going through some things, and you guys were, of course, there for him as family. What was that like to see him, to be able to finish the season the way that he did, and know that if he could do that, our sky's the limit for any of us?
I mean, like I said earlier, like, strong dude, man. Like, you really can't have excuses when you're around him, because he going through it, but you don't see that. Like, you really don't see like all the pain he went through this season. Like, when you talk to him for the first time, like, you can never tell like he went through something like that. So just him being strong, it really affected us a lot, because like I said, like, we're nothing without him. So him leading the way he did, like, it made it easy for us.
You, of course, get the other items that come along with the national championship: the Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-American. You see those things, and they all add up. How does that convert you on the next level? And if I'm a recruiter and I'm looking, is it the bounce back story that I think should really hold people eyes up there to see what could happen with the right person believing in yourself, just as Iowa Western again came back to believing in you as they thought when you were a junior?
I'm at a point right now where I don't think it's believing. I mean, shoot, you can just ask anybody around me who I've been around. When I'm on the field, it's just different. You can turn on the film, you can see it's different. Like the numbers, they don't lie. Like, so for me, it's just, if any coaches are watching, I mean, just turn on the tape, man. That's all I can say. It's nothing different than me in real life. Like the tape not gonna lie to you. What you see is what you get. Like I'm a playmaker. I make plays with my feet, with my arm. I can do it all. So I don't really have no weaknesses. So I mean, really that's all.
What's going on now? What should people also know about when the football season's over and you know that you don't have that spot? What all do you have to do as an athlete? Who do you get in contact with? What's some things that you've been doing up to this point? Obviously, some people think, oh yeah, the season ended, needs a championship, everything's good. But now that just started your next journey, and you got to start pushing yourself to be seen.
Definitely. I got some good people in my corner. So, just talking to them, making sure they get in contact with the right people because they do have connections. And then at the end of the day, I mean, I'm working almost every day. So just making sure, you right. So when you do get that opportunity, like they can't say nothing. Like they can't pass you up because you ready. So just making sure I stay ready. That's all.
Now, as far as the next level, is there expectations that you have to have met, or what's some things if I'm a coach looking for you that you're looking for that might put you in my right pocket to what I need? Is any of that big, or is it just that next opportunity?
I mean, for me, it's just the opportunity. I feel like when I get the opportunity, my bad. When I get the opportunity, I'm gonna capitalize. All I need is one. Like I told Coach Strohmeyer, like all I need is one opportunity. I'm gonna show you what I can do. So for the next level, it's the same mindset I'm taking. Just one opportunity and watch the magic happen.
Now, is there any I don't know, do you think there could be in due time, how they have a workout for JUCO players postseason so people could see them? Or do you feel it's just going to stay the way it is to where you pull their tape of what they've done and that's what you got? Or do you think it'll be where sometimes you might have to go out and show someone what you got?
I really don't think that'll happen anytime soon, to be honest. There's a lot of things going on in the college football world that has to happen before minor things like that can happen. So it's a lot of things that has to be involved in that process. So yeah, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. So it just really depends on what you put on tape. I mean,
are you as an athlete having to send out your stuff to make sure that it is in people's boxes?
For sure. I'm sending out my tape every day. Just hoping for coaches to hit me back. So, I mean, it's just like high school all over again at this point. So
we'll get you out of here on this. And of course, maybe a little bit more, but mostly if you look back to those high school kids and obviously the future, what's something you want to make sure people understand when it comes to having the opportunity to play over just being an athlete on a team? And I say that because when you get to the next level, you're looking for opportunities to play. Doesn't matter the level. If you know that you can continue to build like you're building now, going the JUCO route, I feel sometimes with football over baseball, JUCO is a big thing, right? But football, sometimes it gets undermined. And I think even with the FCS and D2 and all that around here in middle of the United States that people forget, we have some of the best football that goes on around here. Some of the great teams, championships. What would you have for those high school players and athletes that are looking to play at the next level? No problem, my guy. All good. We're almost done, I promise.
Nah, my bad.
You're
My
good.
bad.
You're
Anybody
good.
who watching, my bad. What I can say to them is, like, shoot, you dream of playing. Like, you don't dream of sitting on a bench, or you don't dream of watching somebody else play. You dream of being in that moment. So if you get that chance, like, you gotta seize the opportunity. And like I said earlier, man, be where your feet are, man. Like, it don't matter what level you playing at. Like, you can make an impact. And when people say, like, they gonna find you, like, people can't find you. Like, you got guys in my position from D2, D3 going D1, like power 4 level, not just G5. So I mean, like, you never know what can happen to you. Like, any day, any person can see what you put on tape. So I mean, just be prepared for that moment. And then when that moment do come, like I said, seize the opportunity, because you never know it can be your last snap. So,
well, what do you feel like you were able to leave as your mark for Iowa Western? And if those coaches are out there watching, what would they be getting with Malachi Marshall?
The mark I felt I left, I mean, historically one of the greatest teams in Iowa Western history, statistically, not just by what I say. So, I mean, just that, and then, the recognition that I received, thankful for my teammates and that happening. But like I said, the recognition that I received, I brought a lot of eyes to Iowa Western, more eyes than they already have. So I think I put a good footprint on that place. And then to the coaches, what you're going to get out of me, I'm a dog. Like, I'm coming every day to work, and I'm going to be the best player you got, no matter what anybody else say. Like, I'm going to prove that I'm the best player on the field at all times. So that's what you're going to get out of me.
Well, Malachi, I greatly appreciate your story. I greatly appreciate you sharing your journey, because here at Wired Axcess, all it takes is one parent, one athlete, one coach to just learn something, or also believe in one person. You never know what can happen. You find the right people to believe in you and give you the opportunity to shine. Things like this can happen. 1 year is all it took Malachi at this level to show that he can compete at any level. But of course, this was also after some of the most darkest days of an injury. So never think that you're alone in those injuries. Find your people that can help you. And I think Malachi did a great job with also talking about finding his faith. I think that's something that some people will talk about, but until reality hits you, and then he even said his grandpa was a pastor, so he should have been all over it, but he didn't take advantage of the times. And then when he did, everything started going in his direction the way that he wanted it to go. So I think those are a lot of strong words and messages for anybody that watches this. Just make sure to like, share, follow. These StreamYards happen, and it's the way that I can have a conversation with someone when they're back at home. They don't have to be here. We greatly appreciate that. Thanks to the Omaha Beef. Remember, we're starting our season here in like 9 Saturdays, which is crazy. We have live shows on Thursday with that too, Primetime Beef Huddle. But once again, Malachi, thank you for your time. Thank you for your story, and we're rooting for you, man. And we'll be sharing it just as we always do with Wired Axcess, because these athletes just need to be seen. If they have the heart, they have the drive, they have the workout, get them seen. And if you could do something, don't be afraid to reach out. His tag is there for his ex. So there's a 1 in there between the A's for Malachi, if you're wondering. Thank you again, Malachi.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well,
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.